Investing in the stock market may be a little dicey right now, but it's apparently a good time for those interested in buying a home. Let's be clear, prices are still among the most expensive in the country. But according to the latest report, property listings have increased and sales have decreased over the summer months, turning the greater Vancouver area into a buyer's market. Here's Andrew.
Home buyers across Greater Vancouver have time on their side when it comes to purchasing a home. Increases in property listings coupled with fewer home sales over the summer months have made for a buyer's market.
Now the field is tilted just slightly in favor of home buyers, which means that for home buyers, it's less chance of getting into that multiple offer situation, which is probably a good thing for if you're a home buyer. More time to do your due diligence in the marketplace.
According to the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver, on average, it's taking 54 days to sell a home compared to 30 days when the market was hot in the spring, which means sellers will likely have to sharpen their pencils around the pricing of a home. Still, all residential properties across Greater Vancouver over the last 12 months increased just over 8%. In Greater Vancouver, the benchmark price of a detached home is close to $897,000, up 13% compared to last year. The west side of Vancouver saw a 24.5% increase. The cost of a detached home in Richmond increased over 20% compared to 2010, and Vancouver's east side saw about a 15% increase.
We saw a sizable number of investor class immigrants that came here a little more than 5 years ago, got their contribution or their investment to Canada back, and many of them are using that money to putting that into the real estate market.
But the climate is changing. Real estate agent Lorne Goldman says he's recently seen a 30% decrease in sales on Vancouver's west side. Back in the spring, price increases across parts of Metro Vancouver were fueled by offshore buyers from mainland China, but that appears to be leveling off.
You're not seeing as many, and the ones that are coming in are, not as excited. They're taking a wait-and-see approach. They'll put an offer in, and the offer may not be close to the asking price, and then the owner might give them a counter offer, and then the buyer's gone.
As for the future, home prices across Greater Vancouver are expected to be quite flat for the balance of the year and into 2012, driven by low interest rates and offset by a global economy that's not growing as rapidly as hoped.
Well, it may be a buyer's market, but for many young people, owning a place in Vancouver is still way out of reach. The income needed to qualify for a typical one-bedroom apartment is more than the average Vancouverite earns in a year. That has more and more first-time buyers turning to their parents for help.
So I wanted to show you a loft in the downtown core, and this building is actually all lofts.
Susie Shin is looking for a place to call home. The 33-year-old moved to Vancouver from Toronto.
And which way is this facing?
She works downtown and would like to live nearby, but Shin knows in this city her money isn't going very far.
Yeah, it's really different. I've been working for a while. I'm a professional. I figure at this age I should be able to afford a decent place downtown, but in Vancouver it's a bit tough.
So this is a one-bedroom and den.
On Shin's wish list, about 700 square feet and a view. Her budget of $400,000 won't get her both.
We're north-facing at this point.
But Shin isn't spending a penny more. She's a financial planner and has calculated what she can afford.
10 stories, but that's
something her realtor says young buyers don't do often enough.
As I understand it.
There are definitely people that want to get into the market as soon as they can afford, or at least what they think they can afford. But I always highly suggest that you sit down and really analyze what your expenses are.
And here's the danger of getting in too deep. BC residents already have the highest debt loads in the country. In Vancouver, the average salary is $45,000 a year, but it takes almost $72,000 to qualify for a standard condo.
What were you guys looking for in your property?
So how are first-time buyers getting in? This mortgage broker says about half are now turning to the bank of mom and dad.
Which is fantastic. It seems that there's been more of an increase as property values have risen. The parents are definitely involved in in helping their kids out in any way they can.
And then we're walking into the kitchen.
That's how bartender Jenny Fung got her place. Lacking the savings she needed, Jenny's parents bought her this condo.
It is actually a really good sized bathroom.
She now pays them monthly rent.
Patio set. I don't have a lot of leeway. A lot of friends are like, I was just paying your parents back. I'm like, no, it's not that simple. They're pretty strict. You know, they're just like a bank.
The difference is there's no interest, which can add hundreds of thousands of dollars. To minimize her payments, Catherine Green is moving out of downtown and into New Westminster, where she got a 2-bedroom and den for $324,000.
Kitchen, yeah, anywhere over there is good.
In Vancouver, that wouldn't have bought much.
Maybe a very small, really old wood frame apartment, maybe on the bottom floor, looking at a dumpster, maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, really nothing. To your left there, that's the key. And
instead of a dumpster, she's now looking at the Fraser River. It's the kind of view Susie Shin is still searching for.
I expected the real estate market in Vancouver to be pretty tough to get into compared to Toronto. I think it's, the reality is hitting me a little bit harder that I may need to rent for a little while more while I earn more money to get bigger down payment on a property.
So for now, the house hunt in an overheated market continues.